Hey, it's Amy J. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about college. It is currently, back to school season. Everybody going to college is probably going to be moving into their dorms in the next month or so. So I figured now was a good time to dish some more college advice. This is going to be much more geared towards starting college than my last video. So this is going to be a little bit more about social things, dorm life, and starting classes. We're going barefaced today because that's the reality of college. I am literally wearing a t-shirt and sweatpants right now, and that is the reality of college. You dress cute for a week, and then this is the rest of the year. So for anyone who doesn't know, I'm a recent graduate. I graduated in May from Truman State University, where I was a creative writing major. So basically I was a glorified English major. I did everything an English major does, but more creatively. So instead of doing quite as many analysis papers, I also wrote creative projects. I should reframe this so you can see my hands since I'm a hand talker. So I graduated this last May, and I feel like those 4 years I really kind of got down a formula of making things work. And especially I feel like going into college, I was coming out of high school being somebody who didn't have a ton of friends. I had kind of dropped off the face of the earth socially in high school. Not like I was a total loser, but I mean as in like I wasn't going out with people, I wasn't making new friends, I wasn't having a social life. So going into college, I wanted a new start. And that's really hard to do. And so this first piece of advice is really going to be for the people out there who are living in dorms and are introverts, because that was me. And I just want to put it out there that everybody's in that same situation. Maybe you're not all introverts, maybe you don't all have social anxiety or something like that, but everybody's in the same situation of being in a new place, living in a dorm for the first time, and not really knowing anybody. The people who are coming to college with a whole cluster of high school friends, they'll disappear. They're all off like being friends together, and they'll just disappear. They're going to be at very few of those like introductory activities with your RAs and like stuff like that. Just like don't even worry about them. They already have their friend group. They aren't interested in making new friends. You kind of don't need them. Unless that is your roommate, bye. So if you are somebody who's coming into college without friends, without an established friend group who all came to the same place, you're all in the same boat. Everybody who wants to possibly be your new friend is somebody who's in the same boat as you, because they also don't have friends coming in. So going off of that, I guess, my advice is to participate in as many of the getting to know you things that your RAs do during like your freshman week, introductory week, whatever they call it. Participate in as many of those as possible. That's just a really good way to get people's names down, get your face out there so then people recognize you. I feel like the really big thing is getting people to recognize that you live on their floor. Because if you get people to recognize that you live on their floor, then if they need somebody to go to a meal with and they see you in the lounge, they'll ask you. Or if they're like, hey, we're getting a group together to go to that event on Tuesday night, do you want to come? Like, you'll start getting those little invites put out to you if they just recognize that you are somebody else from their floor who also is looking for friends. And you'll do that by going to those introductory activities. At the introductory activities, you don't have to be an extrovert. You can be an introvert at those activities. Just participate to the degree that you are comfortable with. And if you do something stupid, just remember that because there's so many faces to be remembering between all of these new people, that whatever first impression that you think you're putting out there and you're like, oh my God, I just did that stupid answer during that get to know you activity, and like my 2 truths and a lie were so stupid and lame. Literally, people are going to forget that was you, and you're going to get more first impressions. So it's a lot more about people remembering your face than remembering anything else that really happens. And then you'll start getting those invites to come to get food and all of that kind of stuff. And that's my other piece of advice. When you live in the dorms and you're on a meal plan, yes, you can go down and eat by yourself. And do not be afraid to eat by yourself. Do not skip meals because you're afraid to eat by yourself. We're in the glorious age of cell phones. If you just go down there, get food, and sit at the end of a table by yourself and go on your phone, everybody's just like, ah, yes, another introverted college student. I did that on Wednesday. Like, nobody cares. So Don't be afraid to get food by yourself, but also use food as a way to make friends. So as long as you're comfortable like eating around new people and stuff like that, I would really recommend that you find people to go down and get food with. And it's really easy. Like literally it can be noon and just walk out into the lounge and there'll be some people sitting out there and be like, hey, have you guys eaten yet? Do you want to get lunch? If they haven't eaten, they're gonna say yes. They're gonna be hungry. They're gonna want some pizza too. So just work on doing the small extensions, both accepting them, but also being the one who puts them out there if socially like you are capable of that. I understand that like if you have social anxiety, that's like shitty advice, but just taking those little steps. The other thing is, although I know that it's a lot of social interaction and a lot of, there's not much downtime in that freshman week, try to go out to the lounge as much as you can. And if you're somebody who can kind of survive on just like, okay, I'm just gonna drink more coffee than usual for like a week and then get like my sleep schedule back on schedule, I'd recommend just trying to do a lot of stuff during that week, as much as your energy is making you capable of, because that first week often establishes friend groups for that first semester. That was at least what I witnessed. Sometimes they'll mix up as you go and certain people branch off and become friends with like only their major. But kind of for the first semester, that first week of who you click with or not kind of becomes your initial friend group. So do try and get out there, do try and find some people that you get along with. Now, as far as classes go, when you have those days before classes begin because you're doing freshman week or you arrived on the weekend and classes start on Monday, Tuesday, whatever, I'd really recommend going to the buildings where your classes are going to be and fake walking your schedule. It'll relieve a lot of anxiety on that first day that you're going to the wrong classroom or you don't know where you're going or are you in the right building and all of that. So, you know, get a hold of a campus map. I'm sure they're going to give you some when you're an incoming freshman. Walk your schedule. Go between the classes that are back to back. Go from your dorm to your first class of the day. Just figure out paths to places, even if they aren't the quickest yet, but just find a route that you can take on that first day so that you don't leave 20 minutes before class starts and then end up in a situation where you're panicking that you're about to be late to your first class. The other thing though is that if you are late, a lot of people are late on the first day. People go sit down in the wrong class. People get lost. People are late for all kinds of reasons on the first day. And I mean, as long as you aren't ridiculous about it or rude about it when you do show up late, like if you do, walk in, kind of sneak to a seat. If the professor, you know, acknowledges that you're walking in late, just do like a sorry sort of thing or say sorry. You don't need to make a big scene of it, just slip into the back of the classroom. Another thing is that during that first week, you're gonna establish everybody's assigned seats in class. I really recommend getting a seat in the middle of the classroom. If you're not in the front row, you can be doing other homework if it's a slow day in class or if it's something you already know and the professor won't realize. You can also be like fucking around on your computer and going on Pinterest or Facebook if it's a slow day and they won't realize. Don't sit at the back. That says you're a slacker. They'll keep an eye on you. They're not gonna like you. Sit in the middle and try and go to one side, because then if your laptop dies, you have an outlet, and that's the key. So then you can charge your electronics, and you're also though in the middle where they will learn your name eventually, but they're not going to know you off the bat and they can't keep a close eye on you, okay? Just in my experience, best place to pick a seat. Also try and sit by people who also, if you are a loner in the class, sit by other loners and you'll become in-class friends with those loners. So then if you miss a day, you can Facebook message them and ask, you know, what happened, get the notes from them, all of that good stuff. If you sit by an established friend group, they're probably not going to include you easily, but if you sit by other loners, they also need somebody like you to help them if you know, they miss class or if there's a group project and you get to pick your partners and like all of that kind of stuff. Other things as far as class, supply-wise, I would really recommend taking notes on a laptop. If you have the financial capabilities to have a laptop and bring it to class and that's allowed, some professors don't allow it still, which like I understand because people like go on social media like, yes, that was me. But also I think it's silly because you can save so many trees and you can save so much weight in your backpack, honestly. So I recommend taking your notes on a laptop. Always carry a notebook or loose leaf paper with you in case your laptop dies though and you don't have a chance to charge it, so that you can take notes by hand. And then I always just had one folder I put everything in, because so many professors do use electronic syllabi and worksheets and instructional sheets these days. You can just download them on your computer, pull them up on Blackboard, all of that kind of stuff. So that one folder would just be for if they handed out hard copy syllabi, does anybody know, on the first day, and then for any handouts over the course of the semester. And my folder would be like the cheapest one from Walmart, and it would never get too thick and break, because there just wasn't that many handouts, to be honest. And I know that that's a little more applicable for majors like me. I know in like biology with like lab notebooks and slides and stuff like that, it might be harder. But I do know that there's also some softwares that let you take notes on PDF files. So then if you download their PowerPoints, the professor's PowerPoints off of Blackboard as a PDF, you can take notes on them. And there's a lot of stuff like that. So that's worth looking into for classes as well, or asking an older student who you do see using a laptop during class, because older students will have a lot of advice for you, honestly. Other things that I recommend as far as general college life is just getting involved. A lot of schools, I believe, have activity fairs at the beginning of the year. They might be called something else, but essentially this is a booth-based system somewhere on campus where all of the clubs and organizations will have booths with posters and provide you information about their clubs. You just put your email down on anything you're interested in. But just expose yourself to all of those activities and clubs. Go to any like introductory meetings at the beginning of the year, because that's not a hard commitment. So many people will show up and then not come to the second one because they just want to feel it out. So just don't feel bad about that at all. Go feel it out, see if it's something you're interested in, and if you're not, you don't have to go back ever. I literally went to like a film club meeting my junior year, because I had not heard of film club until then. They're very small at my school. And I went to two. They put me down on this list for like some production thing, and I never went back, and like it wasn't a big deal. Just go to those introductory meetings. If you're interested in Greek life or service organizations, go to their rushes, get a feel. Usually the first night is just informational, so you can just go and gather intel, talk to current members, and just kind of like figure it out. And that's really, really handy to do as well, is just get that information and see if it's something you're interested in, because organizations are the #1 way to meet people on campus who don't live in your dorm and aren't in your classes. I ended up with a lot of friends I would not have met if it hadn't been for my sorority. And I was in a service sorority. I was not in a Pan-Hellenic sorority. So it was singular to my campus, but so worth it. I had a great time doing a like less commitment sorority than Pan-Hellenic. Because although there were still rules and there was still requirements, they were lesser and there weren't as many fines, so financially it's a lot easier to handle than Pan-Hellenic. But it's the best way to meet people outside of your major and really expose yourself to people from different walks of life. Also, if there's honors organizations for your major, you can get the information as a freshman even if you can't join until you're older. Just gather the information now so that they know your name and they'll invite you to their rush down the road. Same thing for any professional organizations. You know, there's going to be like pre-vet club for bio majors who want to be vets and just like that kind of stuff. Just get the information, join those. They're going to be great career-wise. People are going to be able to give you a lot of advice in those organizations. So just go for that. I mean, if you have any questions about college, I feel like this wasn't a super encompassing video, but I don't want to make it 3 hours long. So feel free to ask me questions in the comments. I check YouTube every single day, and we can chat about college a ton. Like, feel free, if you find this video, to ask me whatever questions. There's no stupid questions in this situation, because I know college is a big scary thing that you're, embarking on. So leave those down below and I'll get to as many as I can, possibly all of them, because not many people find my videos, but I really hope this was helpful to somebody out there.